Okay, நான் பேசிட்டு தான் இருக்கேன். கேக்குதா? Yes. Audio clear. Okay. So the topics for the topics for today are so 5 editorials. First one is okay. So one is about too many trekkers spoiling the mountains. So ecotourism அப்படிங்கிற though we are trying to promote ecotourism in these environmentally fragile destinations, but அந்த மாதிரி ecotourism promote பண்ற இடத்துலயும் lot of surge in tourist numbers is happening. So அந்த மாதிரி போயிட்டு overcrowding நடக்குது ecotourism destinationல, and that is actually causing harm to those places. And recently in Karnataka, there was a place called as Kumara Parvata, where there was a surge in ecotourism. So நிறைய crowd swelling நடந்ததுனால the Karnataka government went on to put a ban on trekking in that place till standard operating procedure and protocols are notified. So அந்த ரீஜனுக்கு அவ்வளவு கெப்பாசிட்டி சப்போர்ட் பண்ண கெப்பாசிட்டில நிறைய பேர் போயிட்டாங்க. So we will be talking little bit about ecotourism. அந்த கர்நாடகால நடந்தது என்ன, ஜெனரலாவும் ecotourismல ecotourism ன்னு சொல்றோம், but are the tourists really adhering to those kind of proper discipline and all that? So we'll be talking about that. And next is, there was a report released by SIPRI, or the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So according to that report, India in 2019 to 23 has emerged as the top arms importer. So world biggest arms importer நம்ம வந்து வந்திருக்கிறோம் இந்த 4-year period. So little bit of statistics and analysis will be doing. So யார்ட்ட இருந்து நம்ம arms import பண்றோம், worldல யார் arms import பண்றாங்க, so why India is in first place, and these kind of things we'll be talking about. So this is important because internal security perspective important, international relations perspective important. Okay, so internal security na what defense equipment we are buying அப்படிங்கறது little bit of idea will get, and எந்தெந்த countries இருந்து வாங்குறோங்கிறது GS2 international relations perspective. And this recently the CA rules were notified. So rules notify பண்ணது வந்து it is to implement the CA Act. அதுக்கு rules notification நடந்துச்சு. So what are the issues, why there is a concern? Not everybody is happy with the CA. என்ன பிரச்சனை இருக்கு அதுல அப்படின்ட்டு சொல்லி we'll be discussing. So this is very relevant for your paper 2. Okay. And yes, this is Bhutan. Bhutanல ஒரு project, ஒரு infrastructure project. It is called as Gelfu City. So about that we'll be discussing, and what is India's stakes in this project. So India's neighborhood அப்படின்ட்டு specifically mentioned பண்ணிருக்கு in the GS mains paper. So because we follow neighborhood first policy and all that, நம்மளோட South Asian neighbors கூட வர issuesலாம் we have to put more focus. Okay, so அதனால பூட்டான்ல நடக்கிற இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் பத்தி we have to know a little bit. Okay, so we'll be talking about that. And yes, WTO 13th ministerial conference happened in Abu Dhabi recently. So WTO it is the only international agency which is governing the trade. So trade rules, negotiations அதெல்லாம் அவங்க வந்து oversee பண்ற body. அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு once in 2 years ஒரு ministerial conference நடக்கும். அந்த கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்ல என்னென்ன பேசினாங்க, what was proposed, what were the issues discussed. So on that we will be talking a little bit. Okay, so so first is okay, so first let's talk about we will do the citizenship amendment act rules. Okay, so recently with regard to the citizenship amendment act, the rules were notified. So citizenship amendment act CAA வந்து அந்த act amendment act வந்து 2019ல பாஸ் பண்ணாங்க. And the rules to implement CAA was notified by Ministry of Home Affairs. So Ministry of Home Affairs தான் வந்து இதை implement பண்ற rules வந்து இப்போ notify பண்ணாங்க. Just recently it was notified. And so regarding this notification of rules, actually we have to know one basic thing. Legislature makes laws. Okay, legislature will make laws, but it is the rule of executive to form rules. So law is like an outside skeleton. So and the skeletal provision வந்து legislature செஞ்சு கொடுத்துரும், but உள்ளுக்குள்ள உள்ள implementationல நிறைய nuances இருக்கு. Okay, and implementation it will solely lie with the administration, because executive ஓட controlல தான் administration இருக்கு. So அது எப்படி அந்த law வந்து facilitate பண்ண போறாங்கங்கிறதுக்கு வந்து there is a lot of administrative work required. அதனால legislature law frame பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் அதுக்கு rules create பண்றது வந்து executive. This power given to executive is called as delegated. Okay, it is called as delegated legislation. Okay, that is when the parliament gives power to make rules on a law to executive, that we call as delegated legislation. And this delegated legislation is overseen by, it is actually overseen by parliamentary committee on delegated legislation. There is a parliamentary committee on delegated legislation. So on the committee வந்து இது வந்து oversee பண்ணும். Okay, that committee will be overseeing this delegated legislation. Okay, so and with regard to citizenship, some constitutional provisions that you have to note are, one is that citizenship is, you can say it is a legal status that defines the relationship between a person and a state. So citizenshipங்கிறது வந்து அந்த ஒரு கண்ட்ரியில இருக்கிற ஆளுக்கும் அந்த நேஷன் அந்த கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கும் என்ன ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் அப்படின்னு சொல்றது தான் citizenship. So you can write this as definition of citizenship. And when a person gets citizenship, gets certain rights. Okay, actually the state will grant. State, sovereign state grants. Okay, the sovereign state will grant certain rights to citizen, like right to vote. Okay, so you can say right to vote or protection, a right to, I'm sorry, right to vote or franchise. Then state will also give protection to the citizen. Okay, so like these, state will do some things for the citizen, and in turn citizen when the state என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா, citizens also have some duties or obligation towards state. So citizenship அப்படிங்கிறது ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒரு ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து வந்துச்சுன்னா, ஸ்டேட் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு சில ப்ரிவிலேஜஸ் கொடுக்கும், பதிலுக்கு அவங்களுக்கும் ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு செய்ய வேண்டிய சில கடமை. ஓகே, அதாவது ஸ்டேட் வில் கிரியேட் சம் லாஸ், அதை அவங்க ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும் ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு, லைக் தட், லைக் தோஸ் சார்ட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் அபவுட் சிட்டிசன்ஷிப். And if you look at the constitutional provisions relating to citizenship, part 2 of the Indian Constitution deals with citizenship provisions, and part 2 la article 5 to 11. Okay, part 2 article 5 to 11 deal with citizenship provisions. And இதுல வந்து article 11 allows, yeah, and one more is citizenship is listed under the union list. So union list la entry 17. Oh, entry number kuda ஞாபகம் வைக்க தேவையில்ல, just union list ன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. It is a subject of the union list. So subject of the union list na என்ன meaning na, central government, I mean the parliament only can make laws. State legislatures வந்து law பண்ண முடியாது. Okay, and how the parliament is making law means article 11 allows parliament to make laws. Yes, article 11 is allowing the parliament to make laws on citizenship, and by this actually parliament passed the Citizenship Act of 1955. So in independent India, this was the first parliamentary law which was made to regulate citizenship. So எப்படி citizenship கொடுக்கிறது, on what basis, அதெல்லாம் சொன்னது வந்து இந்த Citizenship Act of 1955. இப்போ நம்ம இந்த act தான் வந்து several times we have amended, and the latest amendment was in 2019. Okay, and according to this 1955 Citizenship Act, a person can be granted citizenship on 5 grounds. Okay, so in that padi 5 grounds, 5 basis of citizenship provision irukku. எதெல்லாம் பார்த்தா, one is by birth. Birth means being born in the country, but this will not apply to children of ambassadors. Ambassadors na the foreign country oda diplomats வந்து இந்தியால இருப்பாங்கல, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து birth இங்க நடந்தா citizenship will not be given. And one more is descent. Citizenship by descent அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, that is when one or both of the parents have Indian citizenship. ஒரு பேரண்டா இருக்கலாம் இல்ல 2 பேரண்டா இருக்கலாம். ஸோ அந்த டீடைல் ப்ரொவிஷன்ஸ்குள்ள நம்ம போல. ஸோ அந்த வழியா வர சிட்டிசன்ஷிப் வந்து we call it as citizenship by descent. And the next is by registering. ஸோ பர்த்தும் இல்லை டிசென்ட்டும் இல்லைன்னா ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் வழியாவும் சிட்டிசன்ஷிப் அவைல் பண்ணலாம். Another method is naturalization. Naturalization means by when someone acquires citizenship through extended residence. ரொம்ப நாளா வந்து இங்க இருந்துட்டு அப்புறம் they can actually apply for citizenship. So that we call as naturalization. And the last is I don't have space here, I'll write here. It is by incorporation of territory. Incorporation of territory. That is, India is a sovereign state. So நம்ம ஏதாவது ஒரு வார் பண்ணி நம்ம ஒரு இடத்துல டெரிட்டரி கேப்சர் பண்ணோம்னா அந்த இடத்துல உள்ள ஆட்கள் வந்து நம்மளோட சிட்டிசன்ஸ் ஆயிடலாம். Actually even Goa was under Portugal rule. So later on during independence வந்து கோவா இந்தியாவுக்கு அடியில கிடையாது. Later on only they came, Portuguese were evacuated and Goa came to us. So that time all the Goan people became citizens of India. So அந்த மாதிரி நடக்கிறதுனா by incorporation of territory. Okay, so yes, shall I change? So this is under Citizenship Amendment Act. Okay, so Citizenship Amendment Act, Citizenship Act of 1955. Now the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019. Okay, so in the Amendment Act of 2019 என்ன சொல்லுதுன்னா, persecuted minorities from Pakistan, Afghan, Bangladesh. So in the 3 countries உள்ள persecuted minorities அப்படின்னா they are being like tortured by the state. அவங்களோட religious rights எல்லாம் violate ஆகுது, religious freedom இல்ல, okay, forced conversions இருக்கும், ஒரு religionல இருந்து இன்னொன்னுக்கு மாற்றுறது, அந்த மாதிரி those kind of things we call as people we call as persecuted minorities. So why minorities na avangaloda religion வந்து it may be and the state oda, for these 3 states the state religion is actually Islam. Okay, the state has a religion and they are actually theocratic states. Theocratic states na state ku or official religion irundha that we call as theocratic state. India is a secular state. Nama India வந்து secular state means there is no official state religion. Okay, secularism means Indian state has no official state religion. So நம்ம secular state. இது மூணு வந்து theocratic states because for them the religion is Islam. And இதுல வந்து persecuted minorities. Yeah, so who are the communities who will be, so in the persecuted minorities, எந்த persecuted minorities வந்து India recognize பண்ணுது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, we have 6 communities: Parsis, Sikhs, Jains, what else? Yes. Okay, so idella. So these people from these communities will be given citizenship. But இவங்க வந்து இந்த ஆறு இந்த ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து வந்திருக்கணும். They should have come from these 3 states and they should belong to these 6 communities. And அவங்களோட date of entry வந்து okay, அவங்களோட date of entry should be before December 31, 2014. December 31, 2014க்கு முன்னாடியே என்டர் ஆயிருக்கணும். இந்த 3 ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து இருக்கணும். இந்த 6 கம்யூனிட்டிஸ்ல. Okay. And according to the rules, so okay, before we go for that, so why this act is trying to give these people citizenship means for so long they have been considered as illegal migrants. So in the states la irundhu vanda இந்த 6 communities வந்து illegal migrants ஆ consider பண்ணப்பட்டுட்டு இருந்தாங்க. And they were not given no citizenship. Okay, and they were all like stateless people. Stateless people na avanga state வந்து அவங்கள வந்து அவங்களோட ரைட்ஸ் வயலேட் பண்ணி அவங்க அந்த இடத்தை விட்டு வெளியே வந்துட்டாங்க. இங்க நம்மளும் வந்து citizenship கொடுக்கலனா, so they were all like living as stateless people. Okay, so that is the that was the case. And generally நம்ம illegal migrants அப்படின்னு யாரை சொல்லுவோம்னா, when somebody has entered India without documents. So they entered without visas or passport. Okay, to enter into our country they need visa, passport and the documents they were. So அந்த மாதிரி இல்லாம enter ஆயினா அவங்க வந்து illegal migrants னு சொல்லுவோம். And one more is entered with document but stay extended beyond stipulated period. So according to in India, what we consider as illegal migrant means either documents இல்லாம என்டர் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க, இல்லைன்னா டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் வச்சு என்டர் பண்ணியிருந்தாலும் அந்த விசால வந்து சில இவ்வளவு நாள், ஒரு வருஷம் இருக்கலாம், 6 months இருக்கலாம், அந்த மாதிரி டேட் இருக்கும். அதை தாண்டி ஸ்டே பண்ணும்போது they become illegal migrants. And these people are all illegal migrants because அவங்க வந்து அவங்களோட கண்ட்ரில பெர்சிக்யூஷன் நடக்குதுன்னு சொல்லி இங்க வந்துட்டாங்க. ஸோ ஆப்வியஸ்லி அவங்களுக்கு மோஸ்ட்லி டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் இல்லாம தான் வந்திருப்பாங்க. அண்ட் டாக்குமெண்ட் வச்சு வந்திருந்தாலும் இப்போ தேவ் பீன் லிவிங் ஃபார் இயர்ஸ் டுகெதர். ஓகே, ஸோ அதனால ஸ்டே பீரியட் எக்ஸிட் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஸோ தேர் ஆல் இல்லீகல் மைக்ரன்ஸ். நவ் பிகாஸ் இந்தியா இஸ் கன்சிடரிங் தேர் ஹியூமன் ரைட்ஸ், அவங்க வந்து ரொம்ப பாவம் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சு வந்து we have decided to give citizenship to these people. And இந்த ஸ்டேட்லெஸ் பீப்புளுக்கு வந்து நம்ம ஸ்டேட்ஹுட் கொடுக்க வந்து ஆசைப்படுறோம். we want to give them statehood. And that's why the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019. And before we go for that act, you should also know that there is something called as Foreigner Act 1946 and Indian Passport Act of 1920. So previously we saw illegal migrants, right? Rendu category of illegal migrants பார்த்தோம்ல. So they can be, so under this illegal migrants can be jailed or deported. Okay, so actually illegal migrants can be jailed or deported na திரும்ப அவங்க கண்ட்ரிக்கு அனுப்புறது. ஓகே, ஜெயில்னா இங்க நம்ம இந்தியாலே ஜெயில் பண்ணுவோம். எஸ், ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி வந்து so those illegal migrants they can be jailed or deported. But now Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 exempts above category of migrants. Okay, so நம்ம above category of migrants பார்த்தோம்ல, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து இப்போ இதுல இருந்து வந்து exemption கிடைச்சிருச்சு. And exempts above category of migrants. Just write it migrants. Okay. And now coming to the CAA rules of 2024. So in the rules la enna state pannirukna, to obtain citizenship under section 6B of Citizenship Act 1955. Okay, to obtain citizenship under section 6B of Citizenship Act 1955, the migrants, okay, migrants or the people above and our community or the people, they have to show proof of country of origin. So அதாவது அவங்க வந்து டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் கொடுக்கணும். டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் டு ப்ரூவ் தட் அந்த 3 கண்ட்ரில இருந்து தான் வந்திருக்கோம் அப்படின்ட்டு ப்ரூவ் பண்ண வந்து டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் கொடுக்கணும். ஸோ அதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு லிஸ்ட் ஆஃப் டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் நம்ம சொல்லியிருக்கோம். அந்த கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல இருந்து அவங்களோட ஸ்கூல் சர்டிஃபிகேட்ஸ் வி வில் அக்செப்ட். ஏதாவது லேண்ட் ரெக்கார்டு, அவங்க அந்த இடத்துல ஏதாவது லேண்ட் ஓனர்ஷிப் இருந்திருந்தா அந்த ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி டாக்குமெண்ட் இருக்கும்ல, ஸோ தட் வி வில் அக்செப்ட். அண்ட் so these kind of proof we are accepting. Okay, residentship, any some list of documents have been made, and next document they have to prove is proof of date of entry. அதாவது அவங்க இந்தியாக்குள்ள December 31st 2014 முன்னாடியே வந்துட்டாங்க அப்படின்ட்டு ப்ரூவ் பண்றதுக்கு proof of date of entry also they have to show. So in the proof of country of origin வந்து மத்த கண்ட்ரியோட documents, so some school certificate, land ownership, those kind of things. In the date of entry proof வந்து it is actually Indian documents like census slip. Okay, so census exercise la nadakkumbodhu they will give one slip. Okay, so census slip, then ration card, okay, Aadhaar card. So Aadhaar and all is not just for citizens, it is anybody, it is for anyone who has been staying in India for more than 6 months. So Aadhaar card irundha adu submit pannalam, census slip, so these kind of documents. Okay, so a list, it's a long list, no, so நம்ம எல்லா டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸும் பார்க்கல. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி they have to prove these things. Okay, country of origin prove பண்ணும், date of entry prove பண்ணும், and one more thing is they have to prove that knowledge of any Indian language. இதுவும் அவங்க prove பண்ணும். Okay, these 3 things it has to be proved. So they have to prove all these 3 things, and after that, shall I change? Then what happens is so they have to prove these things. There is some other provision. Yeah, obtaining citizenship by naturalization. Okay, for citizenship by naturalization. So naturalization na citizenship by extended residency அப்படின்னு பார்த்துருந்தோம். Okay, for that the criteria of residency cut down from 11 years to 6 years. Okay, so அதாவது அவங்க citizenship, if they are applying for citizenship by naturalization, previous 14 yearsல ஒரு 11 years வந்து இந்தியால இருந்திருக்கணும். Out of in the previous 14 years they should have lived for 11 years in India, and அந்த 11 yearsல previous 12 months இருக்கணும். Within that 11 years they should have lived for previous 12 months also. அதாவது previous 12 months க்கு இல்லாம அதுக்கு முன்னாடி 11 years இருந்தா அது வந்து acceptable இல்ல. previous 12 months அது வந்து 1 year count பண்ணலாம். அது தாண்டி மீதி duration வந்து ஒரு 10 years. So basically out of 14 years they should have lived in India for 11 years. But in the category of people வந்து they could have lived only ஒரு 6 வருஷம் இருந்திருந்தா வந்து போதும். Okay, 11 years இருக்க தேவையில்ல. For 6 years they could have lived. That is enough. Okay. So this criteria is there. And areas exempted. So actually the Citizenship Amendment Act applies countrywide. But சில areas வந்து exemption கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Like Schedule 6 areas. Schedule 6 area means Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura. Okay, this is because these are all tribal areas. So unique tribal culture இருக்கு. அங்க outsideல இருந்து வேற people வந்து தங்கினா அந்த tribal culture வந்து dilute ஆயிடும். Okay, so அவங்க அந்த இடத்துல minorities ஆக possibility இருக்கு. அதனால these areas have been kept out. Also the ILP areas. ILP na inner line permit areas. So அந்த இடத்துலயும் வந்து citizenship வந்து apply பண்ண முடியாது. Okay, so ILP areas is actually under Bengal Eastern Frontier. Okay, so Bengal Eastern Frontier regulation provides for inner line permit. So in the states la irukna Arunachal, Mizoram. So in the இடத்துல உள்ள all the hilly areas, tribal areas, அந்த மாதிரி areas in the ILP system la protect ஆகும். Yes, so this is about the provisions. Okay, so what என்னென்ன changes அப்படிங்கிறது இவ்வளவுதான். Now we will see what is the problem with that. Okay, why so much of protest is there and all that. So shall I change? So in the issues என்னன்னா, if you see the issues, their first main problem is violation of Article 14. Violation of Article 14 means equality before law. Okay, don't write Article 15. Article 15 is only for Indian citizens. Citizens க்கு மட்டும் சில fundamental rights இருக்குல்ல, 15, 16, 19, 29, 30. So 15 எழுதக்கூடாது, 14 தான். 14 வந்து எல்லாருக்கும். Okay, even for aliens. இவங்கெல்லாம் வந்து aliens. வெளிய இருந்து வந்தவங்க வந்து aliens னு சொல்லுவோம். So violation of Article 14, equality before law. ஏன் நம்ம what is being violated means we are discriminating on religious basis. Okay, we are discriminating on the basis of religion, so அது வந்து wrong. And this is also violation of secularism. So state வந்து religion basis ல discriminate பண்ணாது. So secularism, and which was considered as a basic feature under a basic feature of constitution. Okay, under SR in SR Bommai case verdict. Okay, SR Bommai case verdict la வந்து Supreme Court சொன்னாங்க that secularism is a basic feature of constitution. So அந்த இது வந்து violate ஆகுது because we are going to give citizenship on religious basis. And then the question is arising, why exempt Tamils of Sri Lanka and Tibetans of China? So இவங்களுக்கும் வந்து religious rights வந்து violate ஆகுது. Okay, actually Sri Lanka is Sinhala Buddhist majority. So Tamils வந்து they are not of Buddhist religion. So they are also actually facing violation of religious right. அவங்களுக்கு ஏன் கொடுக்கல அப்படின்னு சொல்லி one question is anything. Why only those 3 countries அப்படின்னு கேக்குறாங்க. And yeah, So these people, and also the another criticism is that persecuted Muslims. There are also reports of Muslims being persecuted. So yaar and the Muslims now, Rohingyas of Myanmar. Rohingyas of Myanmar persecution face பண்றாங்க. Ahmadiyas of Pakistan. Okay, Ahmadiyas of Pakistan, Baloch, Baluchistan in ஒரு இடத்துல, there's a place in Pakistan. அங்க Baloches அப்படிங்கிற Muslims, they are also Muslims, so they are also facing religious persecution. Yes, so இந்த மாதிரி முஸ்லிம்ஸும் பெர்சிக்யூட் ஆறாங்க. So why it is not that அவங்களோட ரைட்ஸ் வந்து ப்ரொடெக்டடா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு criticism. So actually these are the issues, and yeah, one another issue is earlier application for citizenship submitted to district collector. Okay, so earlier the application for citizenship was submitted to district collector, but now application for citizenship submitted to district level committee. Okay, so district level committee which forwards it to யார்ட்ட forward பண்றாங்கன்னா empowered committee created by union government. So all the control is going to the center. Earlier district collector வந்து அந்த application எல்லாம் scrutinize பண்ணுவாங்க. So அவங்களோட ரோல் வந்து மாறிடுச்சு, அவுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கு. There's something called as district level committee. அந்த கமிட்டிட்ட தான் application கொடுக்கணும். அவங்க வந்து central governmentல there is the union has created a committee called as empowered committee. Okay, and this will have officials from a postal department, census department, okay, director of census in each state. So like these in the members la irupanga. So and the committee வந்து scrutinize பண்ணி they will decide whether the citizenship is to be given or not. So this is being said, it is stated that it is a violation of federal provision அப்படின்னு சொல்லி இதையும் ஒரு criticism raise பண்றாங்க, because center is taking up all the power. And then yeah, so actually these are the issues. These are the points which are against the Citizenship Amendment Act. Now you should also speak as to why it is needed. Okay, why CAA needed. So why CAA needed அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, India's partition and one more thing I missed out in this thing. You have to write about violation of Assam Accord. There is something called as Assam So Assam Accordங்கிறது எப்போ வந்துச்சுன்னா, this was actually signed in 1985. Okay, Assam Accord was signed in 1985, and இந்த அக்கார்ட்ல என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா, actually after that India-Bangladesh war வந்து 1971ல நடந்துச்சு. So around that time lot of Bangladesh people migrated into India. So Bangladesh people மக்கள் வந்து இந்தியாக்குள்ள மைக்ரேட் ஆகும்போது, so naturally Assam தான் அங்க கிட்ட இருக்கிற ஸ்டேட். So West Bengal குள்ளேயும் Assam குள்ளேயும் தான் நிறைய மைக்ரேஷன் நடந்துச்சு. And Assam, you know, and the tribal culture and all that was there. So it led to demographic change in Assam. Okay, and fear there was a fear in Assam people, there was a fear of Assamese that they would become minority in their own territory. ஏன்னா all the உள்ள பங்களாதேஷ்ல இருந்து உள்ள வரவங்கலாம் வந்து பங்களாதேஷிஸ் இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அசாமீஸ் பீப்புளோட எண்ணிக்கை வந்து குறைஞ்சு இது ஜாஸ்தி ஆயிடும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி there was a fear. So அந்த fearல வந்து they started protesting. The people in Assam started protesting, and hence the Assam Accord was signed between all Assam Students Union, okay, all Assam Students Union and central government, Indian government, okay, during Rajiv Gandhi, when Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, on the time when the agreement signed பண்ணப்பட்டுச்சு. And in the Assam Accord, what was stated that it was stated that NRC will be implemented and cutoff date will be March 1971. So அந்த year அந்த period அப்புறம் வந்தவங்க எல்லாம் வந்து illegal immigrants. Okay, so whoever entered after that period will be counted as illegal immigrants. Okay, so அவங்களுக்கு வந்து citizenship கொடுக்கப்படாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி it was agreed in the Assam Accord. And what else? But now the problem is that இப்போ வந்து நம்ம கொடுக்கிற date வந்து December 31, 2014. So 1971 to 2014. So நிறைய immigration வந்து உள்ள நடந்திருக்கும். Okay, so apart from the religious persecution based immigration, a lot of economic immigrants also would have come. So economic immigrants ன்னு சொல்லலாம். Shall I change this page? Okay, so apart from religious immigration, between 1971 to 2014, lot of economic migrants also would have come in. So India எப்படி இருக்குன்னா, so your Bangladesh is actually over here. So இங்க இருந்து வந்து they will come into West Bengal, இல்லைன்னா அசாம் குள்ள போவாங்க, நார்த் ஈஸ்ட் குள்ள போவாங்க, எங்கேயாவது போவாங்க. So it is not இந்த என்டர் ஆன மக்கள் வந்து ரிலீஜியஸ் பர்சிக்யூஷனால தான் என்டர் ஆயிருக்கணும்னு இல்லை, எக்கனாமிக் மைக்ரன்ஸாகவும் என்டர் ஆயிருக்கலாம். Okay, and Assam people now also they're protesting after the CAA rules were notified. Again there's a protest in Assam because of the fear that and the Assam Accord on the violator. And the Accord body cutoff year is 1971. But this, according to the CAA, the cutoff year is 2014. So such a huge period. So இவ்வளோ நாள் வந்து உள்ள வந்தவங்களுக்கு எப்படி citizenship கொடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி they are fighting. And because there will be actually pressure on not just demographic change, there will be pressure on land, resources, and competition for jobs. So in the problem zone. So because of that also, those people are actually protesting. Yeah. Shall I have it written? Yeah. So this is for this is the problem. Back ulla problems என்னன்னு பார்த்தா இதெல்லாம். And coming to the fact of why the act. So if you look at why CAA, so one is India's partition on religious lines. So India, Pakistan, so West Pakistan, East Pakistan. At that time, East Pakistan, today's Bangladesh was East Pakistan back then. So religion basis la partition நடந்ததுனால நிறைய Hindus in Pakistan lot of Hindus were caught, and in Bangladesh also lot of Hindus were caught. Hindus தவிர Sikhs அந்த மாதிரி Sikhs also were there Pakistani side. So அவங்க வந்து ஒரு 2 Muslim ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து மாட்டிக்கிட்டாங்க. So they face a lot of problems. So now the government is trying to correct that mistake. So appo maatinalum for generations they would have been living there. So now at least you come and live here and solli citizenship kudukuradhu da in the act. So because religion based partition irundadnala you can justify it on that basis. And during partition, okay, or you can say in 1947, West Pakistan, okay, West Pakistan had 30%, I'm not sure, 24%, okay, 24% Hindus, okay, 24% Hindus. Now it is only 1%. Okay, so that much avlo irundha the ratio eppadi maarichna, so much of post conversions have happened, killings might have happened, edho nadandirukku. So that's why the ratio has declined drastically. And when it comes to East Pakistan or Bangladesh, okay, so it is Bangladesh of today. So anga vandu 30% Hindus irundanga 1947, and now, okay, and today if you see it is only 7%. Okay, today it's only 7%. So, and but and then you can say we have some humanitarian concerns. Okay, and India follows principle of non-refoulement. Non-refoulement na meaning enna, matta countries la irundhu nammalkulla நம்ம ஸ்டேட்ஸ்குள்ள இந்தியாக்குள்ள வந்த மக்களை வந்து we do not send them out. Okay, so we do follow the principle of non-refoulement even for okay, for people of all faith. So Muslim அப்படிங்கிறதுனால வந்து நம்ம வெளியே அனுப்பணும் அப்படின்னு கிடையாது. Even Muslims வந்து we are hosting at home. It is just that we are not giving them citizenship. So we follow non-refoulement even though, okay, despite, or you say despite not signing UN 1951 Refugee Convention. So 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention sign பண்ணல. அந்த கன்வென்ஷன் நம்ம சைன், அது வந்து நம்ம நேஷனல் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்ல நம்ம வந்து சைன் பண்ணல. பிகாஸ் when we sign that they will say நீங்க ரெஃப்யூஜி ஸ்டேட்டஸ் கொடுக்கணும் அந்த மாதிரிலாம் சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ இன் நேஷனல் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் we did not sign. பட் அப்படி நம்ம சைன் பண்ணலனா கூட we we follow the principle of non-refoulement. Like for example, ஸ்ரீலங்கால இருந்து so many Tamils are living here. அவங்களுக்கு நம்ம சிட்டிசன்ஷிப் கொடுக்கல, பட் அவங்கள வெளியவும் அனுப்பல. Likewise, Tibetans are living in India. So many on the back in 1950s அப்பத்துல இருந்து வந்து இருந்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. Even Dalai Lama is here. We are not giving citizenship, but we are not actually sending them out. So அதுதான் வந்து non-refoulement. Okay, and அது வந்து நம்ம ரிலிஜன் பார்த்து இல்ல, on humanitarian grounds we are supporting everybody. So we can say that in national interest நம்ம வந்து decide பண்ணலாம் that to whom we will give citizenship and to whom we will not give citizenship. And that is our choice, like that you can write. And if you want to support Citizenship Amendment Act, you can also write Rohingyas alleged, okay, reports of alleged connection with ISIS. Okay, so there are reports that they have connection with ISIS, Islamic State terror group. So அந்த terror group கூட connections இருக்கிறதா சில rumors இருக்கு. So on national security grounds we cannot give them citizenship. அந்த ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு. But Bangladesh is hosting. Bangladesh வந்து ஒரு முஸ்லிம் கண்ட்ரிங்கிறதுனால அவங்க வந்து கொஞ்சம் ரோஹிங்கா ரெஃப்யூஜிஸ் உள்ள எடுக்கிறாங்க. And India is giving financial assistance to Bangladesh to support them. So like that you can say. So you can say நம்மளுக்கு வந்து we already have 1.4 billion population. Land constraint எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? We have 2.4% of the world's land, 18% of the world's population. So much of imbalance is there. அதுல வந்து we cannot give citizenship to people, persecuted people of every country. இந்த மாதிரி because it happened on religious lines நம்ம இதுக்கு மட்டும் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். Pakistan and Bangladesh கொடுத்திருக்கோம். Actually for Afghanistan there was no partition. Afghanistan எப்பவுமே தனி country தான். அப்போனா then the question will come how Afghanistan came into this. Only Pakistan, Bangladesh வந்து religious based partition. But when they say critically analyze, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் எக்ஸாம்ல சொல்லிட்டாங்கன்னா சப்போர்ட் பண்றதுக்கு வந்து இந்த மாதிரி பாயிண்ட்ஸ். Yes, so it's like that. So this is about Citizenship Amendment Act and the rules and everything. So next one is next topic we'll do Gelufu okay, Gelufu Regional Economic Hub. So இது என்னன்னா, this is basically Bhutan king announced in December 2023 and so he announced something called as GMC. GMC na meaning என்னன்னா, the full form என்னன்னா Gelufu Mindfulness City. Okay, Gelufu Mindfulness City. So adla what was the announcement made means he said that this Gelufu will be it will be an area of 1,000 kilometers square. Okay, and it will be designed as per Bhutan okay, it will be designed as per Bhutan architectural norms, and it will be designed as a carbon neutral city. It will be designed as a carbon neutral city and will target investments in non-polluting industries. Okay, non-polluting industries like they will try to attract investment in IT, yes, hospitality, hotel, these kind of industries. Okay, so in the மாதிரி non-polluting sectorsல வந்து investment attract பண்றதுக்காக கட்டப்பட்ட ஒரு city. Education also. Yes. Yeah. So shall I change? So this will actually it lies across the Indian border. Okay, it lies across the Indian border and very close to the state of Assam. Okay, so it lies across the Indian border and very close to the Indian state of Assam, and it coincides with so Indian state of Assam க்கு வந்து இது வந்து ரொம்ப close, and it also coincides with trilateral okay, trilateral highways. So trilateral highways ங்கிறது வந்து it is India, Burma, Southeast Asia. So trilateral highwayங்கிறது வந்து connectivity project between India, Burma, Southeast Asia, and also India, Japan collaborating to make bridges, roads in. Okay, so you can say that it coincides with these kind of routes. So these kind of routes are in line with India's Act East policy. So இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து ஈஸ்டர்ன் ஆக்ட் ஈஸ்ட் பாலிசியில வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் தான் இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த ப்ராஜெக்டோட ரூட்ஸ்க்கு க்ளோஸாவே வந்து this thing is there, this Gelfu project. Okay, because it is just lying across the border with Assam. So it is lying in proximity with this. So actually Gelfu can be integrated by acting as feeder routes to above projects. So அந்த கெல்ஃபு அசாம்க்கு மேல உள்ள ரீஜன்ஸ்ல வந்து இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் டெவலப்மெண்ட் பண்ணும்போது யூ கேன் பில்ட் சம் மோர் ரோட்ஸ் ஆல்சோ அண்ட் எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் பண்ணி. ஸோ இந்த ட்ரைலாட்ரல் ஹைவே வந்து இட் லேக் அலாங் த மணிப்பூர்ல இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகி பர்மாக்குள்ள போய் சவுத் ஈஸ்ட் ஏஷியாக்குள்ள போகும். ஸோ அசாம்ல வந்து இந்த கெல்ஃபு ப்ராஜெக்ட் இருந்தா திரும்ப ஃப்ரம் தேர் வி கேன் ஆல்சோ கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் அ ரோட் அண்ட் கனெக்டட் வித் ட்ரைலாட்ரல் ஹைவேஸ் இனிஷியேட்டிவ். அண்ட் இந்தியா ஜப்பான் வந்து பங்களாதேஷ்ல சில பிரிட்ஜ் ரோடு அந்த மாதிரி சில இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் ஒர்க்ஸ் பண்றாங்க. ஸோ அது ரெண்டு கூடயும் கனெக்ட் பண்ணிடலாம் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து இட் இஸ் பீங் செட். ஓகே, so Gelfu can be integrated by acting as feeder route. Feeder route na அந்த ரோட்ல அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட்ல இருந்து கனெக்டிங் ரோட்ஸ் கொண்டு வந்து இது கூட இது இந்த மாதிரி அதர் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் கூட சேர்ப்பாங்க. that we call as feeder. Okay, feeder routes to above projects. Okay, and shall I change it? Significance of Gelfu project. So இந்த ப்ராஜெக்டோட சிக்னிஃபிகன்ஸ் என்னன்னு பார்த்தா, it can boost or okay, before that India's to Gelfu okay, India's significance to Gelfu regional economic hub. So India and the project la எப்படிலாம் contribute பண்ண போகுது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, we are planning to build first India Bhutan railway line. Okay, so we are going to make a railway line, first India Bhutan railway line connecting to Gelfu. அது ஒன்று பண்ண போறோம். And we are also planning to invest in upgradation of Gelfu airport. Okay, so அவங்களோட அந்த இடத்துல உள்ள ஏர்போர்ட் வந்து எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் பண்ணி we will enhance the capacity so that it can handle bigger flights. And one more is India is also targeting at South Asia power grid. Okay, so there we are planning to invest in power projects like wind, solar. Okay, wind and solar power projects in not just Gelfu is in Bhutan now. So in Bhutan மட்டும் இல்லாம we are also planning to invest in Nepal also. Okay, so the South Asia power grid will do investments in Bhutan, Nepal, and அங்கிருந்து நம்ம இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணி we are planning to supply to Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Yes. So India it is planning to contribute like this in the Gelfu project. And why this becomes important for India at this time is significant because India actually, I think we've already discussed also. India Middle East economic corridor. So India Middle East Europe corridor. Okay. So on the corridor, that one, and also there is another corridor called as INSTC. Okay. So in the Mari render land-based connectivity projects, both of these are presently stalled or slow takeoff. So India Middle East Europe economic corridor it is actually the Israel-Gaza war. And on the corridor on the war prone areas and the route pass and the and this international north-south corridor, India is participating. Iran is a part of this corridor. Russia is a part of this corridor. So these corridors are facing the threat of Western sanctions. Iran-USA relationship has always been bad, and Russia is now in war with Ukraine. So adanala in the rendu projects slow moving irukku. So that also becomes another important reason why India should focus right now on this Gelfu project. So in the projects take off agala, at least we should focus on this. Okay. And also, so you say significance of Gelfu to India hence rises. Okay, so because of these kind of problems, significance of Gelfu to India hence rises, and it actually will give a boost to Act East. Okay, that you write. Can we change? And if you look at the overall significance, so benefits for Bhutan அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, so Bhutan ஏன் இப்படி ஒரு project propose பண்ணிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா, basically Gelfu design being designed as special administrative zone with easy clearances to boost business and okay, so we are giving and the Gelfu special administrative zone we are designing it in that way with easy clearances for business and investment, and as a result it can lead to economic activity, infrastructure, so idu rendu rise agum, and this can boost tourism for Bhutan. So Bhutan economic mainstays tourism and hydropower. And the rendu economic activities Bhutan romba rely on. So this project, when we are upgrading that Gelfu place by better roads, better connectivity and all that, airport adala expand பண்ணும்போது tourism and the regional tourism boost கிடைக்கும். So you can write that. And why tourism is so important means Bhutan economy rendu activities are mainstay. One is hydropower and one more is tourism. So tourism, and also you can even say sustainable tourism. Okay, adnaladan the title is called as Gelfu mindfulness city. Okay, you're mindful of the damage or impact of on environment. So abdi summa randomly design panna oru idu illa. So they're specifically planning and designing it as a carbon neutral city. அதனாலதான் நான் பொல்யூட்டிங் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்க்கு கிளியரன்சஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. மற்ற எல்லா இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸும் உள்ள விட மாட்டாங்க. தட்ஸ் வை தேர் கிவிங் ஃபார் செக்டர்ஸ் லைக் ஐடி, education, hospitality, health, in the mari salladukku dhaan. Not every industry can come in. So they will also target at carbon neutrality. So the aim is tourism, not just tourism, but sustainable tourism. Okay. And other benefit for Bhutan is that it will give employment to youth, and it will reduce out migration. Okay, it will give employment to youth and it will reduce the out migration. And anything else? Any other? So yeah, these are the benefits for Bhutan. And issues, coming to the issues, can we change? Issues in this project. Okay, so in the project issues ennan pata. So one is that Gelfu lies in plains area. So hilly, Bhutan is overall a hilly state, but Nadula or a plain region than Gelfu. So Angada வந்து they are planning to build this city. So it lies in plains area and prone to heavy monsoon rain and annual flooding. So airports and the mud infrastructure நம்ம design பண்ணும்போது floods, that is a flood prone region. Okay, hilly terrain illa rain plains ங்கறனால and sutti hills, so from there also all the runoff water will come. So it is actually prone to annual flooding. So on the location that is the geographic constraint. Okay, you can call it as geographic constraint. And the next problem is that this place again lies along elephant corridors. Okay, so elephant corridors na naturally forested regions இருக்கும். So அது வழியா elephants நடந்துட்டு இருக்கும். So when we do deforestation, elephant corridors will be affected. And elephant corridors வந்து கட் பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம வந்து அங்க வேற ஏதாவது infrastructure create பண்ணும்போது there is a possibility of man-animal conflict. Okay, and you can write surrounded by wildlife habitats. Okay, so there is increased possibility of man-animal conflict, threat to wildlife, threat to natural biodiversity and their habitat and all that. And insurgency across the border. So as Bhutan insurgency problem illa, but just nearby to Bhutan in Assam region, there is a problem of insurgency. And actually, there was an operation All Clear. Okay, there was an operation called All Clear by Indian Army and Bhutan. Okay, so that was to clear insurgents. So Assam la வந்து insurgency பண்ற சில groups வந்து அங்க போய் hideoutsல போய் hide பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. So அதை வந்து eliminate பண்றதுக்கு India had to collaborate with Bhutan. So அந்த region வந்து insurgency prone and prove பண்ணுது. Okay, that's why this operation was there. And so பக்கத்துல ஒரு stateல insurgency இருந்தா கூட that can affect the regional stability. Okay, peace will get affected. So tourists வந்து அந்த அளவுக்கு வர மாட்டாங்க. Okay, just across the border if firing is happening, some fighting is happening, and that mental mindset itself will not be there to visit the place. So if Bhutan is targeting tourism there, Assamலையும் கொஞ்சம் பிரச்சனை இல்லாம இருந்தாதான் நல்லது. So this is like a drawback. So we are just looking at drawbacks. So the cross-border insurgency is a problem. You can write cross-border. Oh, I've written across the border. Okay, fine. Sorry. Apro next problem வந்து Bhutan's border issues with China. Okay, China is a state which keeps troubling Bhutan. So ஏன் வந்து Bhutan அடிக்கடி trouble பண்றாங்கன்னா அதுக்கு main reason வந்து Bhutan is close with India. South Asia ல நிறைய neighbors are tilting towards China. Maldives is tilting towards China. Pakistan also is a good friend of China. Nepal வந்து they will try to very often the Nepal ஓட local political sentiment என்னன்னா they will in their campaigning and all that, they will speak against India. And Adanala, they also have a pro-China tilt. And very often it's called as flashing the China card. So China adu pandranga idu pandranga and solli comes, they will try to obtain things from India. So Nepal is also pro-China, and Sri Lanka already, because of Hambantota port and all that, China is having a greater control there. So இந்த மாதிரி South Asia இத்தனை இடத்துல வந்து China has hegemony. Okay, it has dominance. Bhutan is one player which is more loyal to India. Okay, so actually you can even say India, Bhutan, they have friendship treaties. Okay, 1949 ஒரு treaty, அப்புறம் 2007 ஒரு treaty. So they have friendship treaties, and Bhutan is a state which has been, more than China, it has respected India and it has trusted India. Okay. So China will try to keep disturbing Bhutan. For example, you can write the Doklam dispute. Have you heard of the Doklam dispute? So in 2017, one conflict happened between India and between Bhutan and China in Doklam. So China and the Bhutan kulla vandu they tried to occupy, but India and the forces they cleared it, and India at that time protected Bhutan. So that is Doklam issue. Go read about it. It's something very, very important for the people who don't know what is Doklam. So that is one adupati sollala. And the next issue is that Gelfu is landlocked. Okay, so hence relies on other countries to access the sea. So access to sea is important for any country. So Bhutan, entire Bhutan is landlocked, and our regional economic hub in Solomode, or a region or full economic potential realize better connectivity has to be there. But landlocked sea-based connectivity is cut down. So that is also a constraint. Yes. And India's discourse. So India and the project enna pananum appdin paatha. So this is something which is going to come up. So Gelufungradhu ipo வந்து propose பண்ணிருக்காங்க. It is actually going to come up. So India should invest even if there is no possibility of immediate returns. So Gelfu project la வந்து இவ்வளவு constraints இருக்கிறதுனால நம்ம வந்து I told you one South Asian power grid, அப்புறம் ஏர்போர்ட்ல இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்றது, ஒரு மூணு சொல்லலாம், ரயில்வே லிங்க். ஓகே, ஸோ இதெல்லாம் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணா கூட இம்மீடியட்டா நம்மளுக்கு அதுல இருந்து பெனிஃபிட்ஸ் கிடைக்குமான்னு தெரியாது. பட் எனிவே வி ஷுட் இன்வெஸ்ட். ஓகே, பிகாஸ் பூட்டான் இஸ் அ ட்ரஸ்டட் அலை, a very good friend. And India வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்ரீலங்கால வந்து இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ண, when we were restraining ourselves only, China came in and they occupied the Hambantota port. 99-year lease வந்துச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் இப்போ சைனாவோட they have hegemony and the oceanic watersல they even bring in their submarines. So அந்த மாதிரி இன்ஸ்டன்ஸ்லாம் அவாய்ட் பண்ணணும்னா India should invest. Okay, India should invest even if there's no possibility of immediate return. India's you can also justify it saying that during Sri Lanka's economic crisis, நம்ம வந்து we were the first country to give assistance. சைனாவே assistance கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி we did huge amount of more than $4 billion of financial assistance we gave to Sri Lanka, and we also gave guarantee to IMF that that Sri Lanka will be able to do debt restructuring and all that. இந்த மாதிரி guarantees-லாம் கொடுத்து we actually helped Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is now actually repaying that goodwill by giving us many projects. So Sri Lanka வந்து அந்த difficult timeல நம்ம help பண்ணோம். So இப்போ அவங்க வந்து they are kind of giving us projects, and the relationship with Sri Lanka is improving. So அந்த மாதிரி like what we did with Sri Lanka, we should do like Bhutan also அப்படின்ட்டு you can say. And India, you can also say, is largest investor in Bhutan. This is a fact which you can know. India is the largest investor in Bhutan, and accounts for 50% FDI. So இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து அந்த அளவுக்கு economic relationship with Bhutan is there. So we should try and maintain that. அது வந்து China is waiting to jump in. So we should try and prevent that. இந்த status வந்து நம்ம maintain பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ட்டு சொல்லணும். And also nowadays in foreign policy we have something called as tribal, called as, yes, it is called as tribal foreign policy. So tribal foreign policy ங்கிறது என்னன்னா, where international relation with friendly allies are strengthened. So யார் கூட நமக்கு good relationships இருக்குன்னு பார்த்துட்டு we will capitalize on that. அவங்க கூட இன்னும் strengthen பண்றது relationship. Like for example, we cannot do it with Maldives. Maldives வந்து they are trying to drift away from India. They are going more towards China. So Chinaக்கு Maldives வந்து they will try to build with Maldives. So if China tries to build relation with Maldives, that is called as tribal foreign policy. Okay. So likewise, when India does it with Bhutan, so that is called as tribal foreign policy. Okay. And Bhutan also a natural partner. Bhutan is also a natural partner because of because of the shared geography, like Himalayas, and Himalayas spreads across both the countries. Okay. And Buddhist faith. Actually Bhutan or state religion வந்து Buddhism. Okay, Bhutan has a state religion. So they are also a theocratic state. நம்ம எப்படி Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh theocratic state பார்த்தோமோ, likewise Bhutan is also a theocratic state. And for them, the state religion is Buddhism. And because India is the land of origin of Buddhism, they revere India a lot. So they believe that they have cultural ties with India. So அந்த மாதிரி reasonsனாலையும் they are proximate with India. China வந்து on the other hand atheist state. So there is no state religion for China. Peopleக்கு religion இருக்கும். China state வந்து religion கிடையாது. China state does not believe in God. Indian state வந்து believes in God. China's atheist state means they don't believe in God. So அந்த மாதிரி reasonsனால, because we have religious sentiments and all that, Buddhism also, Bhutan also has religious sentiments. They revere Buddhism. Because of that, there is a natural tie. Okay. So naturally itself, Bhutan's tilt is towards India, and we should capitalize on it. So அதனால Gelappu project la வந்து India should play an important role. Like that you can say. Okay. And yeah, so this is about this project. The next editorial is on okay. Next editorial is on whether ecotourism is becoming a threat. So yeah, the question arise agudana, there is a concern of overcrowding. Okay, there is a concern of overcrowding in ecotourism destinations. So example, recently Karnataka banned trekking. Okay, they banned trekking in Kumara Parvata of Pushpagiri Sanctuary. Okay, located in இந்த இடத்துல வந்து கர்நாடகா banned trekking until SOP is notified. SOP means standard operating procedure. Okay. So online booking la sila trekking allow pannalam. So அந்த details la நமக்கு தேவையில்லை. It is the news. Okay. So ecotourism பத்தி question கேட்டா you can just say இந்த இடத்துல வந்து trekking stop பண்ணாங்க, and you can why it was stopped means on a single day, that is on Republic Day. Okay, 26th Jan அன்னைக்கு some 4,000 trekkers visited. ஒரு அந்த ஒரு நாள்ல மட்டும் 4,000 people visited. Okay, they went for trekking on that peak, and this number, it is greater than the carrying capacity of the region. ஏன்னா அந்த ரீஜன்ல வந்து அவ்வளவு ரோட்ஸ் இல்ல, அவ்வளவு இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர் இல்ல, அவ்வளவு ஃபுட் ஸ்டால்ஸ் இல்ல, டாய்லெட்ஸ், நத்திங் இஸ் அடிக்வேட். ஓகே, பட் அங்க வந்து அவ்வளவு கூட்டமா வந்து ஆளுங்க அன்னைக்கு வந்து போயிட்டாங்க. ஓகே, so this is the issue, and can we change? So இதுல என்னன்னா, why surge in ecotourism? If you say why surge in ecotourism or tourism, but tourism illa, because now we are talking about ecotourism, we'll have that itself. So actually youth, they are having rising disposable income. So because of jobs and everything, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து income வந்து ஜாஸ்தி ஆயிடுச்சு. So அது ஒண்ணு, and they want weekend getaways. Okay, to relax and to cut down work stress. Okay, work stress, hypertension, these kind of things are there. So they want to relax whenever they get an opportunity. அவங்களுக்கு அது செய்யறதுக்கான பைசாவும் இருக்கு. So they are ready to go. Okay, so அதனால these kind of tourism activity has increased, and also you can say liking for adventure tourism. Okay, so adventure tourism na, it includes activities like trekking. So generally adventure tourism அப்படிங்கிறது எதெல்லாம்னா trekking, beachல வந்து சில activities like surfing and the paragliding. Okay, so these things on beaches, trekking வந்து on the mountains. Then there is something called as skiing. Skiing வந்து அந்த snow sliding, அது snow capped regionsல பண்றது. So இந்த மாதிரி adventure tourism க்கு வந்து there is increasing demand. Okay, so many people they are having a liking for it. Okay, so இந்த மாதிரி pristine pure ecological destinationல இந்த மாதிரி activitiesலாம் offer பண்றாங்க. Okay, so people are also coming for it. So you can also say it is also because of trekking clubs, rise of trekking clubs. Yes, and private tour organizers. Yeah, so many agencies are there, and also they give packages like budget travel packages. Okay, do it within 6,000 rupees, do it within 10,000 rupees. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரொம்ப attractive costல வந்து they are offering packages. So because of that also many people are able to afford and buy it. So this is about it, and so this is the reason for surge. And shall we change? So if you look at what is the concern, so the problem enna, so if tourism is there, it is good only, no? So like that a question we made that, but idla enna issue appdin paatha, the issue is that These are ecologically fragile regions. Okay. And so cannot be restored. Okay, so or you can just say they're ecologically fragile and they cannot be restored to original state if they are damaged beyond a point. So ஒரு லிமிட் ஆஃப் டேமேஜ்க்கு மேல போகும்போது ஒரிஜினல் ஸ்டேட்க்கு ரெஸ்டோர் பண்றது கஷ்டம். ஸோ ஒரு பீக்ல வந்து ஒரு ஸ்லோப்ல வந்து நிறைய ஃபாரஸ்ட் இருக்கு. ஸோ ஒரு நிறைய சிக்னிஃபிகண்ட் சங்க் ஆஃப் ஃபாரஸ்ட் இஃப் யூ கட் டவுன் அண்ட் மேக் ரோட்ஸ் ரெசார்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஆல் தட் how will you even get it back? ஸோ திரும்ப வரவே போறது இல்லை. ஸோ we are actually destroying nature. Okay. So you can say ecologically fragile and it cannot be restored back to original state. So you can say biodiversity loss, habitat destruction. Habitat destruction, animals, plants, இந்த மாதிரி இதுல அவங்களுக்கு வந்து habitats குறையுது. And this leads to man, animal. Okay. So ecologically fragile, you can write this Western Ghats is a biodiversity hotspot. Okay, you can write this Western Ghats is a okay, it is among the 8 hottest hotspots. World some 34 hotspots are there, and adla vande 8 hottest hotspot means maximum biodiversity இருக்கிற சில hotspots இருக்கு. So in that Western Ghats is one. You can write it like that. And where you can say, yeah, locals or tribal life culture may be affected. So local people, local tribes, they will be depending on the natural resources which are there. So அந்த இடத்துல போயிட்டு நம்ம when we do over tourism, we are destroying the natural resources there. So இப்போ ஒரு forest வந்து cut down பண்ணி we are building so much of resort now, forest is actually the habitat of tribals. So when we are cutting down the forest, we are actually displacing them. So their rights, their social cultural rights, their life, everything gets affected. So that problem is also there. And it can lead to issues like climate change. Okay. Because we are doing so much of deforestation, carbon sink is lost. Another climate change issues irukku. Yes. So this is about it. And so these are the concerns. And if you have to like discuss one another thing, so இது வந்து கர்நாடகால இருந்த நடந்த issue. இன்னொரு problem என்னன்னா in Himalayan states, this editorial was there some or 2 weeks back, but since it is related, I'm mentioning it along with this. So Himalayan states choking in plastics. Okay. So here also rise in tourists. So littering, okay. So littering activities. So நிறைய tourism போறாங்க, நிறைய shops இருக்கு, அவங்க நிறைய things எடுத்துட்டு போறாங்க, purchase they are carrying a lot of plastics on one hand, and then because shops are catering to the needs of tourists, they are buying things from the shops. அது எல்லாமே வந்து பேக்கேஜிங்கோட வருது. ஸோ அகைன் அந்த எடுத்து they use whatever they are using and then they are discarding the plastic. இந்த மாதிரிலாம் நடக்கிறதுனால in Himalayan states there is a lot of plastic pollution, and there are reports of microplastics. Okay, microplastic means it is a plastic which is less than 5 mm in dia. Okay, there are reports of microplastics which are caught in between glaciers. So Himalayan glaciers க்கு நடுவுல microplastic deposits இருக்கிறதா வந்து it has been found out. And this can be a problem because glacial melt can lead to plastics in it can lead to plastics in river water, and this also leads to risk of bio accumulation. Bioaccumulation rate இருக்கு. அதாவது plastic வந்து entering from a water body into or from the environment into a living organism. So that issue is there. And yeah, one another concern is that India reached plastic overshoot day on Jan 6. So plastic overshoot day means a day when plastic generated exceeds processing capacity. Okay, day when plastic generated exceeds processing capacity. So நம்மளுக்கு processing capacity வந்து ஒரு limited capacity தான் இருக்கு, but we are using more than that. So அதை வந்து denote பண்றதுக்காக annually plastic overshoot days ma, and it was reached very early this time. Okay, so these are the problems, and இதுக்கு வந்து what has been given as the solution means, so they have asked for implementation of plastic waste management rules. Okay, 2016 plastic waste management rules have to be implemented, and also implementing of extended producer responsibility, which was given in the plastic waste management rules of 2022. So 2022 once again plastic waste management rules were given on how this extended producer responsibility can be implemented. Extended producer responsibility ங்கிறது வந்து whoever generates the plastic, they have a responsibility to collect it back and recycle it and ensure that it does not litter the environment or does not damage or pollute the environment. So யாரெல்லாம் வந்து plastic produce பண்றாங்களோ, so it actually takes into concern PIBO. PIBO means producer, importers and brand owners. So இவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து ஒரு responsibility இருக்கு in order to take back whatever plastic they are generating. Okay, so these kind of things have to be implemented, and also solid waste management rules of 2016 அதுவும் implement பண்ணணும், because that has a provision for waste segregation. So waste segregate பண்ணும்போது நம்ம plastic waste தனியா எடுத்துருவோம். So தனியா எடுத்தா that can be sent for recycling. That's the idea. So இந்த ரூல்ஸ்லாம் வந்து implement பண்ணணும். And also there is a need to implement best practices. Okay, like Himachal Pradesh. Okay, Himachal Pradesh state has a plastic buyback scheme. Yes, so plastic buyback scheme means when we go give the plastic waste, we get paid for it. Okay, so Himachal Pradesh has it. So likewise other states should also implement such measures. Yes, and also you can say awareness in people about environmental issues and promoting behavioral change. Okay, behavioral change in people. So these kind of things have to be done. Okay, so 1, 2, and yeah. So this is so one was about that Karnataka and the other one was Himachal, not Himachal, the Himalayan states facing plastic pollution. So overall, in the conclusion, you can say that since both are about ecotourism, you can say ecotourism should act as a conservation tool, okay, to educate people about wilderness and how it is crucial to protect it. Okay, so ecotourism should act as a conservation tool to educate people about wilderness and how it is important to protect it. So, so it should be designed in such a way that it is within the carrying capacity of the region. So Karnataka taking a step on banning trekking in that place, it is a right thing. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் வந்து டூரிசம் அலோவ் பண்ண சில இடத்துல வந்து நம்ம டூரிசம் அலோவ் பண்றோம்னா பீப்புள் ஹாவ் டு நோ தட் அங்க வந்து அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஈகோ சிஸ்டம் இருக்கு, அங்க சில அனிமல்ஸ் இருக்கு, சில ட்ரீஸ் இருக்கு அப்படிங்கறத அவங்க பார்த்து புரிஞ்சா when they are ஒரு சிட்டில இருந்துட்டு when we go to such a a place where nature is at its best, we see nature. அப்பனா nature towards nature there develops a kind of respect and we try to we see nature at its best and we understand the importance of protecting it. So ecotourism should be doing that. Okay, so in the conclusion you can say that ecotourism should actually act as a conservation tool and it should not be exploitative. It should not be exploitative in nature. Okay, so so this means that we should allow it within limits and the carrying capacity மேல வந்து we should not allow. Okay, it should not become a it should not become something which destroys the region. Okay, so basically you can say there is need to promote sustainable tourism, keeping in mind the present and future, and by respecting all stakeholders. So who are the stakeholders now? Tourist, businesses, அதாவது the people who are investing in the tourism regions, and then the locals, tribals, okay, then government. ஸோ இது எல்லாத்தையும் எல்லாரோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்டையும் பேலன்ஸ் பண்ற விதத்துல தான் டூரிசம் இருக்கணும். It should not be exploitative, it should not be extreme. Okay, so there is a need to balance environment and development, like that you can. Yes, can we change? So this is about this one, and next editorial is on, we did tourism 3. Yeah, SIPRI report. Okay, so SIPRI report, India is the top arms importer. India is the world's top arms importer. So actually SIPRI stands for Stockholm Peace Research Institute. It was established in 1966 at Stockholm International, okay. Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, and it was established in 1966 at Stockholm in Sweden. And it is an international organization, okay, which does research on arms control, disarmament. Disarmament means countries putting down their arms. அதுதான் வந்து disarmament ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். And conflicts and armaments. Armaments na weapons. Okay, so யாரெல்லாம் disarmaments பண்றாங்க, யார் வந்து weapons procure பண்றாங்க, எந்த இடத்துல சண்டை நடக்குது, these kind of things SIPRI will be doing research on. Okay, so இவங்க வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ரிசர்ச் பண்றதுல வந்து now according to their this year's latest report in 2019 to 2023, India is the world's #1 arms importer. Okay, so world's top #1 arm importer was India, and which is accounting for 10% of of global arms import. Okay, so world le வந்து 10% import வந்து India தான் பண்ணுது. Okay, and we have recorded a 4.7 rise in import compared to 2014 to 18. Okay, 2014-18 அந்த டைம் பீரியட் கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது இந்த அந்த 4 வருஷத்துக்கு கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது இந்த 4 வருஷம் வந்து there has been a 4.7% rise in import. And you also have to know who the other importers are. So top in the number, we are at #1. #2 is Saudi. 3 is Qatar, and 4 is Ukraine. Okay, see, these are the top importers. And top exporters yaru appdin paatha. Yes, so USA. So in USA is the #1 exporter. Second one the France, and third is Russia. So USA is the top exporter, then France, and then Russia. And so USA you can say accounts for 42% global exports. Okay, and Russia's share in share has dropped. Okay, Russia's share has dropped due to the Ukraine war. So they need lot of arms which they use at, so அவங்க வந்து war fight பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கறதுனால அவங்களோட war fight பண்றதுக்கு அவங்களுக்கு weapons தேவை. So they're not able to export much. Okay, so this is about top importers, top exporters. அப்புறம் India's import basket. So India's import basket la yaar top 3 suppliers appdin paatha. Our largest supplier is Russia. Okay. So accounting for 36% supply. 2019 to 23 period la Russia has supplied 36. Russia accounts for 36% arms supply to India. But the share has fallen to below 50% for first time in 6 decades. For the first time in 6 decades, the share of Russia in Indian arms import has dropped below 50%. And main reason on the Russia is diverting war weapons for the Ukraine war, so it is not in a position to export. Not just to India, worldwide its exports have dropped. Okay. Apro next India oda next supplier, big supplier is France. Third one the USA. And with respect to France, India is largest export destination. So France எந்த கண்ட்ரிக்கு இருக்கிறதுலே ஜாஸ்தி அனுப்புறாங்கன்னா இந்தியாக்கு. இந்தியா ஜாஸ்தி வாங்குறது ரஷ்யாட்ட இருந்து, but for France we are the biggest market. France ஓட biggest market வந்து இந்தியா தான். Okay, India is the largest export destination, or you can say largest export market. You can also say market. So actually பிரான்ஸ்ல இருந்து நம்மளுக்கு என்ன வருது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, okay, from France we are actually buying Scorpion submarines. அது வாங்குறோம். And we are also buying Rafale fighter jets. Yes. USA and our main imports are Chinook and Apache helicopters. Okay. So USA and நம்ம மெயினா வாங்குறது வந்து Chinook and Apache helicopters. Then we are also buying M777 howitzers. So these are some weapons that which we are buying from USA. Russia and we are buying this S-400 Triumph missiles. Okay. So these are the weapons that we are actually buying. And from USA, you can also write Harpoon anti-ship missile. Harpoon anti okay. So like the Marisala weapons. From Russia, you can say S-400 Triumph missiles. Then you can also say armored vehicles. Yes. Can we change? So this is like, so these things, these important things you have to know. And if you look at why India's imports increased. So if the analysis is done as to why there was an import increase by India, first is that we have hostile neighbors. So for national security reason, we are buying more arms. Okay. So yaar nammaloda hostile neighbors na Pakistan, China, rendu perume nuclear weapon states. Okay, rendu perume nuclear weapon states. So avanga itta irundhu protect பண்றதுக்காக we are buying more of arms. So you can also write specific incidents like Galwan Valley clash. அது வந்து நடந்தது வந்து 2020 and in the report or analysis the period is 2019 to 23. So you can see that the India's surge in imports has coincided with the period post this incident. And one more is Chinese hegemony in Indian Ocean region. So Indian Ocean region China oda presence jaasthiya irukku. They are making an influx into Indian Ocean region. So adnala we are also doing lot of naval and aircraft procurements. Okay. So இப்போ இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து land based war மட்டும் இல்ல. So Pakistan Chinaங்கிறது and in the past 1962 war with China was on land அந்த along the eastern border. Pakistan கூட war நடக்கும்போது we fight along the western border. So earlier it was only land based war, but இப்போ வந்து China வந்து oceans குள்ளேயும் வராங்க. So because of that we should be ready to do ocean based war also. So for that also we are procuring weapons. Okay. So this is the main reason why the weapon surged, and this is the only reason given. And also you have to understand that apart from this surge, India's exports okay. So on one hand we are the top importer, but export layum vandu India has a story. So according to year end review, okay, according to year end review published by PIB in December 2023. Okay, so India's defense exports in that year reached 16,000 crore. Okay, in 2023 year la வந்து இந்தியாவோட defense export வந்து 16,000 crore வந்து reach பண்ணுச்சு. Yes. So India has reached defense export of 16,000 crore, and we are importing to greater than 85 countries. More than 85 countries are buying from India. And என்னென்ன products அனுப்புறோம்னா BrahMos, okay, LCA, Tejas, then advanced towed artillery guns, or you can also call it as attacks. Okay, advanced towed artillery guns. Then we are also exporting Dornier aircrafts. Okay, so these are some of our export basket. Okay, and Pinaka rockets. So இதெல்லாம் these kind of things we are exporting. And India also became third largest arms supplier to Myanmar. For Myanmar, we became the third largest arms supplier. Yes. Can we change? And presently India's focus is so with respect to defense sector, நம்மளோட present focus என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, we want to diversify supply sources. So Russia மட்டும் மேல மட்டும் rely பண்ணாம we want to buy from more countries. So Russia, அதனால France ஓட share increase பண்றோம், USA ஓட share increase பண்றோம். Israel also is another important supplier. So over reliance on any one country for defense supplies is not at all good. So So we are looking at diversifying the supply basket. Adu onnu. And also one more thing is we are trying to increase indigenization. Okay, we're aiming for indigenization, or we call it as Atma Nirbhar. So self-reliance is another target for India. So in that, actually, fifth positive indigenization list released by so defense ministry வந்து எப்போதும் அவங்க வந்து சில என்னென்னதெல்லாம் வந்து என்னென்ன டிஃபென்ஸ் நீட்ஸ்ன்ட்டு சொல்லி they will make a list. So இதை அதுல வந்து எதெல்லாம் நம்ம இந்தியால செய்யலாம்னு சொல்லி they will make a list. Okay, so what is the defense equipments and requirements which can be manufactured in India? The defense ministry makes a list, and in that fifth time one list has been released. So that is indigenization list. So they've given the list of equipments which can be manufactured at home. So it means that India's public sector defense units, MSMEs, so they have the capacity to manufacture and so adukku dhaan indha list kudukuradhu. And one more is also we have a helicopter. Okay, Hindu yeah, helicopter factory by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So for indigenous manufacturing, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has started a helicopter factory at Tumkur for light utility helicopters. And Bharat Electronic Limited, okay, they are giving actually medium power radars to IAF. Okay, IAF means Indian Air Force, and they are also giving integrated, they're also manufacturing integrated electronic warfare system. So these are some of the developments. So you can write like this. In this indigenization, you can say, or you can write a government body called as Defense Acquisition Council. Okay, so this is the top agency for defense procurements. They are pushing it. Okay, it is under Ministry of Defense. Okay, so it functions under Ministry of Defense. This body is actually focusing on indigenization. So this is about the arms stories, SIPRI findings and all that. And change. Last one is WTO 13th ministerial conference. Okay, WTO's 13th ministerial conference. So WTO it is the only body which is dedicated for facilitating international trade between nations. Okay, so world in or international body to facilitate this kind of trade between nations is WTO. And WTO it actually, this body members meet once in 2 years. Okay, So on the meeting பேர் தான் we will call it MC. Okay, so on the members வந்து once in 2 years they'll meet. Okay, they'll carry out some negotiations. So that one is called as ministerial conference. So they do negotiations on trade agreement, trade disputes. What else? What are the international issues affecting international trade? அந்த மாதிரி அது எல்லாத்தையும் வந்து டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. Okay, and then they'll make some decisions. They will finalize it. So that happens in ministerial conference, and you can say that here decisions are taken by consensus. அப்படின்னா மெஜாரிட்டி மெம்பர்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு இதுக்கு ஒரு அக்ரிமெண்ட்க்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணாதான் அது வந்து பாஸ் ஆகும். Okay, otherwise it will not pass. So suppose if 170 members are taking part in the ministerial conference, means if it has to pass, if an agreement has to be passed, it has to be accepted by half. 170 la half, 75 or 85. Okay, so 85 members have to support it. So that is what we said, decisions are taken by consensus. Okay, so develop the world nations, the dominance, it's not like that. Okay, so if you look at what happened and this venue of the summit was at Abu Dhabi in UAE. Okay, so அங்கதான் the meeting நடந்துச்சு. So if you look at what happened, 2 new members inducted. So 2 new members. One வந்து Comoros. Can you see on that map? அந்த மடகாஸ்கர் பக்கத்துல இருக்குல்ல. Okay, one island nation, and one more is Timor-Leste. Comoros and Timor-Leste, 2 new members have been inducted. So now the number of members is actually 166. Yeah. அதுக்கப்புறம் next happening was that agreed on facilitating dispute settlement, facilitating fully functional. Okay, facilitating fully functional dispute settlement system by 2024. So world la வந்து எல்லாரும் ட்ரேட் கேரி அவுட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது சில கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட்ஸ் வரும். 2 நேஷன்ஸ்க்கு நடுவில் ஏதாவது நீங்க இந்த டாரிஃப் போட்டீங்க, அந்த டாரிஃப் போட்டீங்க, இந்த மாதிரி பேரியர்ஸ் போட்டீங்க, அப்படி இப்படின்னு சொல்லி லாட் ஆஃப் கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட்ஸ் வில் கம். So that conflicts WTO should be in a position to address. ஏன்னா அந்த 2 நேஷன்ஸ்க்கு நடுவில் திரும்ப ட்ரேட் நடக்கணும் அப்படின்னா அந்த பிரச்சனை வரும்போது லைக் ஹவு கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் வந்து நம்ம கோர்ட்டுக்கு போற மாதிரி, like that when there is a conflict, when there are issues arising in the world trade, so the nations will go to this WTO. So WTO should have a mechanism to solve that dispute. அதுக்கு பேர் தான் dispute settlement body. Actually it is called as dispute settlement body. Okay, so right now on the dispute settlement body la, okay, and we will see what are the issues concerning WTO later, but in the meeting la என்னென்ன பேசுனாங்கங்கறத first பார்த்துடலாம். It agreed on facilitating a fully functional dispute settlement system by 2024, and also agreement on fisheries subsidy by mid 2024. So fisheries subsidies na ipo on the ocean la pay fish catch panna, they will give subsidy for fishing vessels. Big fishing companies இருந்தால் developed countries வந்து fishing vessels develop பண்றதுக்கு, for those kind of things they'll be giving subsidies. Now in India they'll give subsidy for fishing boats, அந்த nets வாங்க, அந்த மாதிரி இதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து Like how for farmers certain subsidies are given, like that for fishermen also subsidies will be given. இப்போ வேர்ல்ட்ல என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, because of this fishery subsidies, so much of fishing has happened in the world, in the oceans, that in the world oceans fish resources are depleting. So இப்போ MC13 ல MC12 itself, okay, they started negotiating on the need to cut down fisheries subsidies. So MC12 லே வந்து it became an issue, like and the fish catch வந்து decline ஆனது வந்து ஒரு issue ஆகி MC12 ல it was decided that one agreement will be signed to end the fisheries subsidy. So in MC12 it was decided, but at that time that agreement was not passed. So நான் சொன்னேன்ல, எந்த agreement pass ஆகணும்னாலும் பாதி பேர் வந்து அதை accept பண்ணாதான் அந்த agreement வந்து pass ஆகும். So in MC12 it was not actually passed, and as of March 2024, okay, even as of March 2024, only 71 countries have ratified. So இன்னும் எல்லாரும் வந்து ஒத்துக்கல. So as of March 2024, only 71 countries are ratified. So 166 na appo evlo irukano, 82, right? 82 should ratify if the agreement has to come into force. So even now not everyone has ratified, but WTO in the 13th ministerial conference, they're saying that by mid 2024 we will arrive at an agreement அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அவங்க சொல்லிருக்காங்க. Okay, can we change? In this this kind of fishing is actually called as actually you just write it along with this. இது வந்து the idea in MC12, okay, was to ban, MC12 aimed to ban subsidy on IUU fishing. அது ஒரு technical term. It is basic, it stands for illegal unregulated okay, so அந்த மாதிரி fisheries வந்து subsidy ban. So that was the negotiation in MC12, but even till now agreement has not been reached. And in this regard, India's okay, illegal unregulated, I'm sorry, unsustainable fisheries, change it, unsustainable. Okay, so that is the thing. And can we change? Another decision was made on moratorium on customs duties on e-commerce to continue for another 2 years. So what does this mean? Means cross-border flow of goods, when it happens digitally, e-commerce platforms வழியா நடக்கும்போது அந்த goodsல வந்து customs duty போட முடியாது. Okay, so 1998 when that e-commerce started coming up so as to boost e-commerce, and for some reasons, okay, actually that time it was happening with music and those kind of things. அந்த மாதிரி இதுல start பண்ணதுனால e-commerce for that they gave custom duty remission. But now it is happening in other commodities also. Now even cell phones, அந்த மாதிரி things வந்து e-commerce ல வந்து flow ஆகுது. So but even now on the e-commerce லயும் வந்து customs duty, even now the customs duty is not being levied. So now the developing world countries are demanding for rights to levy custom duty on e-commerce goods, because Indians na kuda we are buying so much from Amazon and like that e-commerce platforms, but adla வந்து இந்தியாவால duty levy பண்ண முடியல. We are not able to levy custom duty on those goods. So India is actually asking for right to levy custom duty, but it has not been agreed. Okay, so and at MC13 it was decided that இன்னொரு 2 years இப்படியே தான் போகும், கஸ்டம் டியூட்டி வந்து லெவி பண்ண மாட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி டிசைட் பண்ணிட்டு. So that moratorium means it's like a ban. Okay, so that is what is moratorium. Moratorium on custom duties on e-commerce to continue for another 2 years. That was one thing. And investment facilitation for development. Okay, investment facilitation for development. So it is called as IFD. Okay, so this is actually a plurilateral binding. Okay, so investment facilitation for development, like that, one plurilateral binding agreement. So plurilateral அப்படிங்கிறது என்னன்னா, ஒரு இப்போ WTOல 166 மெம்பர்ஸ் இருக்கிறாங்க. அவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து ஒரு அக்ரிமெண்ட் மேல இஷ்டம் இல்லை. பட் ஒரு 100 மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து ஒரு அக்ரிமெண்ட் ஓகேனா அவங்க 100 பேர் மட்டும் வந்து அந்த அக்ரிமெண்ட் சைன் பண்ணிப்பாங்க. So that we call as plurilateral agreement. When all the 166 out of 166 agree, so that is called as multilateral. So அப்படி இல்லாம சில groups மாதிரி பண்றாங்கல்ல, so that is called as plurilateral agreement. So this investment facilitation for development was a plurilateral binding agreement that was signed at MC30. Okay, so it aims at facilitating better business and investment climate. Okay, so on the 120 countries, அவங்களுக்குள்ள easier for business and investment, they have signed this agreement. Okay, so not everybody has signed because அவங்களுக்கு வந்து FTAs, all countries are now independently making FTAs. So நமக்கு ஒருத்தர் கூட better trade பண்ணனும்னா we are signing FTA. With Australia, India has FTA. Now recent sign பண்ணது with Australia, we signed. With UAE, we signed the comprehensive economic partnership agreement, comprehensive economic cooperation agreement. So like these agreements are being signed between different countries. So actually India didn't sign this. India has not signed. Okay, so India, no, but this was adopted by some countries. Okay, so India இல்ல, because we நம்ம வந்து தனியாவே பண்ணிக்கிறோம், UAE கூட பண்றோம். Then we are doing with we also did with one EFTA recently. ஒரு 4 European countries கூட one free trade agreement was signed. So like that we are signing. So there is no need for this, we thought, because it's a binding agreement. So அத்தனை பேர் கூட நம்மளால, when we are negotiating with 100 people, it becomes difficult to put forward our interest. 100 பேரும் ஒரே மாதிரி யோசிக்கணும், அது வந்து கஷ்டம். So that's why we are not in it. Okay, and next agreement was on there was a target to improve special and differential treatment. Okay, special and differential treatment to developing countries and LDC. So world la வந்து developed countries வந்து developing countries-க்கு சில standards வந்து improve பண்ணி relax பண்ணும். So rules வந்து ரொம்ப tough-ஆ வச்சாங்கன்னா developing countries-க்கு வந்து trade பண்றது கஷ்டமாயிடும். Okay, like for example, எந்த மாதிரி ரூல்ஸ்னா they'll keep rules like sanitary and phytosanitary measures. இப்போ sanitary measuresனா நம்ம ஒரு crop, ஒரு mango crop வளர்க்குறோம்னா அந்த மேங்கோக்கு ஏதாவது pesticide like that will be putting, no. So when we are trying to export it to Europe, what they will say is, no, you are using this substance, எங்களோட food standard norms படி it is not, எங்களோட மக்கள் வந்து அது சாப்பிடக்கூடாது, it can cause cancer, அந்த மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நம்மள வந்து மேங்கோ எக்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ண விட மாட்டோம். So that is called as sanitary standard. Phytosanitary standard means with respect to animals. So if you are trying to export cow meat, beef export பண்ண ட்ரை பண்றோம்னா what are we feeding the cattle, that they'll be checking. So சில cattle feed வந்து நம்ம என்னென்ன போடுறோங்கிற லிஸ்ட் வந்து we have to give to them. So அவங்க பேன் பண்ண ஏதாவது ஐட்டம் வந்து நம்ம ஃபீட்ல போட்டுட்டு இருந்தோம்னா some feed, சில medicines, some antibiotics will be given. அவங்க பேன் பண்ண ஏதாவது போட்டுட்டு இருந்தோம்னா that on that basis they'll say you are using this, you cannot export beef to us அப்படின்னு சொல்லிருப்பாங்க. So that is actually sanitary and phytosanitary standards. இன்னொன்னு வந்து it is called as technical barrier to trade. Okay, So sanitary and phytosanitary standard is this, and another one is called as technical barrier to trade. Technical barrier to trade அப்படிங்கிறது என்னன்னா, suppose if we are trying to export tobacco, அந்த cigarette packetலாம் அனுப்ப ட்ரை பண்ணும்போது we have to give some health warning on the packet, அதுல லேபிளிங்லாம் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரிலாம் பண்ணலைன்னா they will not allow us to export. Okay. And if you are trying to export some electronic devices, அதுக்கு வந்து இவ்வளோ energy efficiency standard இருக்கணும் அப்படி சொல்லுவாங்க. When that standard is not there, they will not allow energy efficiency. So அந்த மாதிரி சில ரூல்ஸ்லாம் போட்டு what they'll try to do is they'll try to stop the exports coming from these small countries, developing countries. ஏன்னா இங்க வந்து கொஞ்சம் standard of manufacturing and everything will be less. And developed world, they'll have higher standards. So that they will try to stop the exports coming in. But WTO on the other hand will say we have to facilitate trade. ஆனா developed countries வந்து இந்த மாதிரி சொல்லுவாங்க. So அதனால தான் in MC13 it was decided that improve special and differential treatment to developing and least developed countries. So allowing easier norms under technical barriers to trade. Okay, and phytosanitary and sanitary standards. So that is special and differential treatment. So that means they have to give a differential treatment for developing world nations. So அவங்க இதுல அந்த ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் இங்கே வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ஸ் வந்து கொஞ்சம் ease down பண்ணா தான் it will be easy for these people to export. So that was also agreed. And okay, so these were the outcomes. And with respect to, can we change? And India's interest, India's demands. So என்ன demand நம்ம place பண்ணோம்னா 3 demands we placed. We want to continue public stock holding program. Public stock holding program அப்படிங்கிறது என்னன்னா, the MSP procurement of goods is there, right? Goods இல்ல, crops. இங்க MSP system for rice, wheat, அந்த மாதிரி crops இருக்குல்ல, அதை வாங்கிட்டு வந்து we will be stocking it and then distributing to PGs. அதுதான் வந்து public stock holding. Publicனா government is doing the procuring and holding as stock. So that's why it is called as public stock holding. Actually, or there is under WTO there is something called as agreement on agriculture. So WTO la agreement on agriculture in one irukku. This was actually signed in 1996 Uruguay round. Okay, Uruguay round of GATT. GATT means General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. So adula vandu it was decided that developing countries agree subsidy vandu it can be 10% of agri GDP. Okay, developing world. Developed nations vandu so அவங்க வந்து எவ்வளவு சப்சிடி கொடுக்கலாம்னா 5% of agri GDP. Developing world can give 10% of agri GDP. Developed nations can give 5%. So இது வந்து agreement on agricultureல decide பண்ண விஷயம். But if you see India's subsidy cap, it is coming to 13%. So 10% cap வந்து violate ஆகுது. And in the மாதிரி not just India, all the developing world countries have requested WTO that you should not keep this 10% restriction for us. நாங்க வந்து எங்களுக்கு நிறைய poor people இருக்காங்க, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து சாப்பாடு கொடுக்கணும். So for that reason we are procuring, and we also have farmers. எங்களோட livelihood mainstay பாதி பேர் எங்க ஊர்ல பாக்குற வேலை வந்து farming தான். அவங்களுக்கும் income security இருக்கணும். So we cannot stick to your 10% cap அப்படின்னு சொல்லி India and many developing world countries stated. And இது வந்து அவங்க எப்போ சொன்னாங்கன்னா 9th ministerial conference. Okay, 9th ministerial conference which happened in Bali. Okay, so இப்போ வந்து 14th, 13th, right now it is 13th. So in 9th ministerial conference in Bali, India, the developing world, they negotiated for something called as peace clause. Okay, so on AOA, peace clause on AOA means agreement on agriculture. Okay, peace clause on agreement on agriculture. So this allows countries, okay, allows developing countries to violate subsidy cap. So we can violate subsidy caps. So but they will pardon us. Okay, பரவாயில்ல அவங்களுக்கு இவ்வளோ இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இருக்கு, இஷ்யூஸ் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லி they will let us violate it. So that is about the peace clause, and that came into being during the 9th ministerial conference at Bali. Bali agreement ன்னு சொன்னோம். Okay, so Bali agreement ன்னு கேட்டா it is about this. Okay, so இது ஒண்ணு, இந்தியாவோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்ல இது ஒண்ணு. First we stated this, and second, our second interest was that we want fisheries subsidy to continue for 25 years. So they are saying ban it now. At the MC12 வந்து அவங்க ban பத்தி பேசிட்டாங்க. Already 71 countries have agreed. So and WTO and 13th ministerial conference, they're saying that by mid 2024 we'll arrive at an agreement. But we are saying that another 25 years we want to extend subsidies. அதுக்கு நம்ம கொடுக்குற reason just like the public stockholding தான். Our fishermen are very small, they are poor fishermen. அவங்க வந்து பெரிய பெரிய வெசல்ஸ் எல்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு சீக்குள்ள போக மாட்டாங்க, அவங்க கிட்ட தான் போவாங்க, சின்ன சின்ன போட்ல போவாங்க. they catch less only. அதுக்கு அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான சப்சிடிஸ் நாங்க கொடுக்க தான் செய்வோம் அப்படின்ட்டு சொல்லி we have stated. So that is one demand from us. And also we are asking for customs duties on e-commerce. So moratorium is there for another 2 years, we saw, no? So we are asking for custom duties because it is a actually it is a burgeoning sector. So much of e-commerce we are doing. நம்ம நிறைய shopping வந்து it is happening by the online sites and all that. So அந்த இடத்துல customs duties வந்து போடல அப்படின்னா வந்து it is a big revenue sacrifice. நிறைய revenue வந்து நமக்கு loss ஆகுது. அதனால we are demanding for that. Okay, but எப்படினாலும் they have decided that another 2 years it is not going to be there. But this is India's demand. Okay, so fishery subsidies வேணும் அப்படின்னு கேட்குறோம். அப்புறம் அது பேர் என்னது, custom duty on e-commerce we are asking, public stockholding we are asking, and another demand is so TRIPS agreement, a compulsory licensing on medicines. So and we want liberal norms actually, so as to violate the patent norms and all that, but it will be done in humanitarian interest. Okay, so we have demanded for that compulsory licensing and yeah, affordable medicine. So they are saying IPR. So India has demanded IPR framework for affordable medicine, while also fostering innovation, protecting biodiversity. ஏன் பயோடைவர்சிட்டின்னு சொல்றோம்னா நிறைய many medicines are made from plants. So affordable medicine பண்றேங்கிற பேர்ல we should not exploit all the plant life, we should not cut down all the forest. So அது வந்து it should be used in a sustainable way. So that's why we are talking about biodiversity over here, and also protecting traditional knowledge and traditional Okay. So actually WTO under TRIPS does allow for compulsory licensing. Compulsory licensing அப்படிங்கிறது என்னன்னா patent வந்து relax பண்ணிட்டு they will allow to manufacture certain medicines in human interest. So COVID-19 timeல வந்து for many COVID drugs, vaccines, COVID diagnosticனா அந்த disease இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கிறதுக்கு சில methods இருக்கும்ல that is diagnostics. So at MC12 it was agreed that அது அந்த COVID-19 time. ஸோ அதுல வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஈஸி நார்ம்ஸ் அலோவ் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. பட் இப்போ வந்து அது அவுட் ஆச்சு பிகாஸ் the COVID pandemic has ended. All the relaxation that was allowed for an MC12 has ended. But generally, India, because of the humanitarian concerns and all that, we have asked for easy IPR framework on affordable medicine and those kind of things. Okay. And India has also spoken against. India has also voiced out against technical barriers like EU's carbon border adjustment mechanism, CBAM, sorry, CBAM. So இது என்னன்னா so technical barrier வந்து different types of technical barrier இருக்கும்னு நான் சொன்னேன்ல, எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுத்தேன்ல, எனர்ஜி எஃபிஷியன்சி ஆன் டிவைஸ் சொல்லுவாங்க, ஏதாவது ஃபுட் நம்ம பிஸ்கெட் பண்ணோம்னா அதுல வந்து லேபிளிங் பண்ணுங்கன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, இன்கிரீடியன்ஸ் என்னன்னு காமிக்க சொல்லுவாங்க, then they will say it has to be zero trans fat, அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது சொல்லி they'll try to restrict the exports from the developing countries. So CBAM அப்படிங்கிறது என்னன்னா a carbon border adjustment mechanism. Now European Union has introduced this. So it is aimed at curbing cement, steel, electricity imports. So in the cement, steel, power, in the money sectors, they are all carbon intensive sectors. Okay. So in these sectors, a lot of fossil fuel based power is used. On the fossil fuel based power use பண்ணும்போது we are contributing a lot to climate change. Okay. So European Union என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, நீங்க வந்து carbon fossil fuel based power use பண்ணி you're making cement, steel and all these kind of things. ஆனா when you're exporting it to us, we will levy some extra duties because you're creating climate problems. We will levy some extra duties on whatever you're exporting to us, and then only we will take in these products into our borders. அப்படின்ட்டு சொல்லி European Union சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. And this is also like a technical barrier to trade. So India has spoken against this because we export cement, steel and all to European Union. So நம்மளோட exports affect பண்ணும். It will become more costly. அப்புறம் அங்க அந்த ப்ராடக்ட்டுக்கு வந்து பையர்ஸ் குறைஞ்சிடும், காஸ்ட்லி ஆகும்போது எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டியூட்டி போட்டா. ஸோ we have spoken against that also. Okay. So yeah, and so either in line of this only we have S&D, special and differential treatment to developing world. So we have called for that also. Okay, so India called for special and differential treatment to developing world. So அதுக்கு நம்ம இதை வந்து எக்ஸாம்பிளா கொடுத்து வந்து பேசணும். Yes. Yeah. So these were some of the things decided at the 13th ministerial conference. Okay. So that's all. We'll stop for now. Okay. You want to know what are the problems of WTO? கேட்கணுமா வீட்டுக்கு போகணுமா? கேட்கலாமா? அது ஒன்றும் இல்லை, just 5 points only. WTO issues. So issues வந்து globally there is rise of protectionism. Protectionism na every country is working to protect its national interests. So European Union வந்து they are saying you are polluting the environment ன்னு சொல்றாங்க. But அவங்களோட ப்ராப்ளம் என்னன்னா இந்தியாவோட ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் வந்து should not come and flood into their country. So everything is happening in national interest. Okay. Then there is the problem of trade wars. Trade wars, example, USA, China. Trade war na மாத்தி they will put tariff, extra tariff போட்டு ரெண்டு பேராலையும் ட்ரேட் பண்ண முடியாத மாதிரி they will fight with tariff. That is called as tariff war. So அது பண்ணுவாங்க. And Yeah, why USA and China were fighting like that? Like that means USA has a huge trade deficit with China, so they were putting a lot of tariffs and all that. So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு problem இருக்கு. And the problem of protectionism. So trade war itself is a result of protectionism. எல்லாரும் national interest பத்தி நினைக்கிறதுனால தான் trade war வருது. And e-commerce, the fact that we are unable to levy customs duty on the problem. Okay, so developing countries are demanding for customs duty, and USA blocking appointment to appellate body. So WTO la வந்து first one there is a body called as dispute settlement body. இது வந்து all members of WTO. So ஒரு கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட்ங்கும் போது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து இந்த பாடிக்கு தான் போகும். And in the body வந்து ஒரு verdict கொடுக்கும். Against that, if any of the parties are unsatisfied, they'll go to a higher authority called as appellate body. Okay. So in the body வந்து இப்போ presently vacant இருக்கு. So இப்போ Supreme Court இல்லைன்னா எப்படி? From High Court we are getting a verdict. If we are not able to go to Supreme Court means it's like that. Like this appellate body is vacant. Vacancies இருக்கு. And USA is blocking the appointments to that body. So இதனால வந்து world trade disputes வந்து sort out பண்ண proper mechanism இல்ல. So that issue is there. And with WTO, and WTO is not able to WTO unable to address environment and sustainability concerns in trade. So globally trade is increasing, but along with all this economic activity and manufacturing and all that, pollution, environmental issues na வருது. So அத வந்து WTO இன்னும் சரியா address பண்ணல. So that is one. And also multilateralism is going down. Okay, so எல்லாராலையும் ஒரு consensus build பண்ணி agreement வர முடியல. On the other hand, what is happening means plurilateralism. Plurilateralism is increasing. That's why we had that IFD நம்ம ஒன்று பார்த்தோம்ல plurilateralism. And then another one is with respect to the access to medicines. So affordable medicine வந்து WTO is not able to facilitate. ஏன்னா கான்ஸ்டன்டா developed world countries வந்து அங்க pressure போட்டு they will stop. They will want to sell at higher price. அவங்க வந்து எங்க ஃபார்முலாவை நாங்க கொடுக்க மாட்டோம், நாங்க ரிசர்ச் பண்ணி கண்டுபிடிச்சோம் அப்படி இப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So that is a conflict between developing world and developed world. So India is a big generic medicine exporter. Ana we have disputes with USA, European Union. Nama generic medicine industry மேல they are not happy with the way our industry is run. So these are the issues. Okay, nothing much. நம்ம அப்பதே படிச்சது தான் திரும்ப yes. Okay, yeah. There is news that prelims may get postponed. Do you people know? Yeah, தெரியுமா அந்த news தெரியுமா? Oh, okay, because you're all writing this year.